Every summer, we get literally hundreds of children who apply to us to come and intern with our children. And we welcome them, but we have to have a cutoff. We can manage just so many. It's usually 1-to-1. We can't do more than that. But what strikes me is that this community service is usually linked to their getting admission in universities abroad, because this is a requirement. So they come for that, but I'm happy to tell you that though they have come from their own need, it usually develops into a wonderful bond with our children. And when they leave, many of them are in tears when they are saying goodbye. And it is really very heartening to see how these elite family children come and bond with these children and respond to the emotional needs that they have. Now, having said that, most of these children are going on to universities abroad where it is the requirement. But why can it not be the requirement of your universities? Why cannot all of you insist that the children do some community service before admission and make this a criteria that they do this, and let them go out and do this and enjoy it. It's interesting to see how people will respond to others. They may go uninterested, but very quickly that bond develops. And we even take our children out into slum areas to work. We take them to see how less privileged children, I mean, they are very privileged, our children. They live very, not lives of luxury, very simple lives, but they get all the essentials, and they are much better off than the majority of the population. They have to go and see this to appreciate what they have. So I think this community service is something that perhaps you can take away from this and make it compulsory. Why not? We have on and off heard of students being asked to go and teach in rural areas, which again is a very good idea. Before getting their degrees or after getting their degrees, they must put in 1 year's compulsory service. Why not? Why not use these young people at a time when they too are looking for some direction in their lives? Anyway, I'm now going to read to you what I have written for what it's worth. The importance of civic education cannot be denied. The benefits are numerous for all societies at any stage of development, and these benefits are far-reaching. First and foremost, it empowers individuals by promoting values of responsible citizenship and principles of democracy. Civil knowledge not only improves one's knowledge of the political systems, but also gives an appreciation of democratic ideals and values. It imparts the skills needed to make reasoned decisions on issues affecting our countries. Civic education must therefore prepare citizens to play a role by promoting a good governance and democratic accountability. This is easier said than done, but that should not deter us from identifying an ideal scenario and also considering how we can prepare people for participation. How can they be empowered to play their part? How can they acquire the acumen to understand the challenges and participate in the progress of their country? Most of all, we need them to take into consideration the impact that individual, moral, and political decisions can have on all humanity. How can we go about creating this awareness? We begin at the very beginning. We do this through various institutions which impact the lives of our young, which are mandated to develop their skills and knowledge of citizens. Family, community groups, and the media are the most important, but a more important role can be played by schools. This exposure should begin in the earliest years and continue through the entire educational process. We should never underestimate the effect of messages we give even to the very young. This was brought home to me very clearly when my 3-year-old grandson was driving in the car with his grandfather, who was smoking a cigar and had opened his window a little to let the smoke escape. He was chided by the 3-year-old, who said, "Close your window, Dada. The folk," he could not even say smoke, "the folk will go out and onto the wings of the birds and they will die." A lesson in environmental protection imparted to him while still in nursery school had affected him deeply. Deplorably, the concept of civic education barely exists in Pakistan. Youth are the key players for change. They are indispensable in nation building, and we must engage them in constructive political, social, and cultural activities. We must equip them with the tools of critical thinking so that in the years ahead they are enabled to navigate the course of the country. Unfortunately, this need to empower the youth and prepare them for participating in public affairs is largely ignored. Attempts have been made to associate civic studies with other subjects, Pakistan studies, social studies, even Islamic studies, but there is no specific curriculum for this vital subject. What are we doing in SOS? We are fortunate that we can make our own policies and programs and implement them, which is perhaps the biggest challenge. The children come to us at a tender age, all under 10. We aim to make them into good human beings and provide them the opportunity to develop to their full potential. They live in a controlled environment, and we are able to introduce all the elements required and are conducive for good nurturing. From an early age, they are told about their rights, but also taught to respect the rights of others. They are taught to be good members of the community in which they live, to contribute to the welfare of their brothers and sisters, and be tolerant of the other person's viewpoint. These basic values are an intrinsic part of successful village life and a good start to civic education. Living in a community consisting of 200 plus members, the children learn from the way the village is run. They learn discipline and the need for routine and structure in their lives. Perhaps the first lesson they are taught is to keep themselves and their premises clean, to not litter, and if someone else has, not to hesitate to clean up. Visitors often remark on the cleanliness they observe, despite so many children milling around. Each child is a member of community life in which he participates and contributes. By focusing on their personal development, encouraging them to be good individuals, it also follows that they are being provided a democratic education which can make them exemplary citizens. In their interplay with each other, they are learning the vital lessons of cooperation and participation. They are shaping their agencies to shape their world. And if they take advantage of all that is offered to them, they can one day apply the knowledge they have learned and become model citizens. Unfortunately, nothing is as simple or as easy as it sounds. But such a controlled environment with the associated auto-regulation provides the grounding required for progression to a good understanding of civic values. We have some hits and some misses, and can only hope that the life skills we try to inculcate in our children will one day blossom. Give them the ability to participate in community issues. Give them a feeling of empowerment so that they too can participate to make the system more robust. Give them the courage to demand government transparency and accountability of elected officials. Above all, to challenge inequities and injustices in the system. These are hopes, dreams, which may one day be realized. Thank you.